Greetings, wholeness, blessings. It's December 2nd. I'll link to two videos here. One video being the compost I'm about to show. Second video being describing this greenhouse build in longer depth. So I'm up at the farm right now. I just wanted to explain what work that I got going on for today. So we got these seedlings that got a little leggy. That's some Shanghai pak choi. These ones look a little bit better. Some lettuce and a whole bunch of other stuff. I have it all written down. So getting those in here today in this tunnel with inside the tunnel, or possibly on the bed on the other side. And then I'll link to that video about the compost. This is that whole pile, or the grand majority of it. I left a little bit back down there to finish, and I'm gonna use 5-gallon buckets to get that in there. And I just went and got some leaf mulch from the leaf piles over by the mulch, by the wood chips. And so, because I need a little bit more leaves in here. And we just got about 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch of rain last night. And it's 45 degrees Fahrenheit. So I just took all the clips off of the greenhouse. And if you're thinking about doing this build, I think these are 3/4 inch. You want to go with, yeah. Can't see it. But you want to go with the bigger ones rather than the 1/2 inch, because these ones tend to just pop off in the wind. And this thing does not want to be opened when it's windy. So, and last night was the first night that no clips blew off, so that's really cool. And I added one detail that I think is very important to the greenhouse build, so I want to try to document that and share. Trying to do this one-handed here. So, like I said, it's about 45 outside right now. And we're reading 63, 62. Between 61 and 63, and we got 100% humidity. So for all these kale plants that were outside, let me try and shut this. I guess let it air out a little bit in here actually. But for all these kale plants that had already received multiple frosts and freezes, and I dug them up and brought them back inside the greenhouse to survive over the winter, have early greens in early spring, like in March, and then the kales are see, they already put on a good amount of regrowth because it's been warm. The kales are biannual, so they'll put on their seed in their second year. So the idea is to save locally adapted cold hardy seed off of these kales, mustard greens that are in here. There you go, 2 back there. And then I brought in some cleaver. There's some more mustard moving right down. Then there's some spinach and some cilantro and some lettuce. And then I have all those other seedlings outside that I'm going to bring in here. And I'll actually link to a third video showing all of these plants in this same tunnel outside at my other garden. And I dug all of it up, moved the tunnel, and transplanted them into here. So now that'll leave for cold hardy greens to nice regrowth in the spring, and then save seed off of everything here. Pretty freaking cool. So I got these up, the support beam going across a day late. We got some crazy winds, as we do in Vermont, and yeah, I only had those that small going across supporter in, and we just got some crazy winds. And this, you can see my job here, this post broke, it snapped. So I lined it back up together and rigged some screws into it. There's a wooden board that I hammered down into the ground for support, and then put one on the outside and kind of, you know, fused it together. And then there was a hole that got poked from this breaking, it snapping, went out the plastic. And then I had to seal that, so I put a piece of board and then a piece of plastic in between where the hole was in the board to kind of seal it back up. And we can see from the temp when we first got in that we're holding at about 20 degrees higher than the outside temp. It's 45 outside and 63 in here. And that's about what it's been on these past few days when I've been checking it out. So there's some arugula, some Bloomsdale spinach, some winter spinach. And the cool story about this Bloomsdale spinach is that this Bloomsdale spinach I planted last October in 2022. I overwintered it and I let it go to seed in the spring. And then these Bloomsdale spinach came up from that seed this fall. And now I transplanted them into here to be overwintered again. So technically this Bloomsdale spinach is from my own saved seed, and it is not technically, and it's going into its second year of being locally and cold hardy adapted to my region of southwestern Vermont. So we got some more cilantro over here. The kohlrabis, when I brought them in here, they weren't looking too hot, and they just perked right back up. And then I got this little like compost situation I'm trying to do. This was originally a cold frame, and I'll link to that video as here as well. That's 4 videos that I'm going to link to, and showing the build on that, describing what I was trying to do with this initially. It's initially to get, you know, a jump on your seed starts, but that didn't work out too well. So now I compacted it with leaves and all that good stuff, and I'm trying to make it like a little hot box. So it worked better as a hot box rather than a cold box, so maybe it is working and I just don't know it yet. And I already showed this, how I sealed this. It'll be in the greenhouse build video that I linked to here. But the most important thing to close all this off is that if you're going to build this greenhouse, one, I would recommend having everything that you need to do it right away. Because I kind of like, you know, got some materials, then would build, then got a little bit more materials, then would build, and then got a little bit more materials, then would build. So it came to a point where really this last thing that I needed to be put in was this, but it was just a matter of me taking apart an old pallet, and I was just kind of slacking on it and getting another box of screws. And the greenhouse needed to break in the wind in order for me to see where it was weak, I guess. And now we've had some heavy winds and rains after that, and I've got the door situation better with the bigger 3/4 inch clips, and it seems to be doing good. So my next biggest concern would be heavy snow loads, and in that case I'm gonna be out here sleeping in my car nearby to come out and shovel, because I have a lot of time and energy invested in this thing and a little bit of cash at this point. So, and everything you see in here is all an investment for health, wealth, and the future. So this thing cannot collapse, and if it does, well, then again, I'll see where it was weak and see where I can make it better next time. But I can't stress enough having these across beams, and I've looked at a lot of other like official greenhouses, and this is what they all have. You know, some have even more. It might have even been good to do a third one. So we have this one, and then do a third one. But I'm just at the point where don't want to spend too much more money, and you know, I'm not really connected with sources for like scrap lumber like that. I got all these pallets. My pops works at Home Depot, and I mean, there's free heat treated pallets pretty much behind any big box store. You just kinda gotta go and ask. Since he just works at Home Depot, just get them from there. But anyways, I'll stop talking. Oh, one thing. And so after I did these, I just came down with the straight again. So it's straight on top. There's also a rope going across, and then across again and straight down. So let me know if you got any suggestions on to improve the structural integrity. And this is Jay's Grass-Fed Garden, December 2nd. One Love Wholeness. I'll link to all those videos, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you.